I will let you know. Hold on.
Okay.
Sweet. All right, so we're live. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. So today is 18th of December 2024. The Eastern time on my side of the world is 10:35 a.m. This is a presentation by Khuram Murad, who's a student of our Diploma in Artificial Intelligence Operations, EduQual RQF Level 6. Okay. The topic is a secure, scalable, and compliant multi-cloud infrastructure with Kubernetes, AI-driven operations, and cloud-native security on AWS and Azure. It's a pretty detailed topic, and the presentation is going to be, inshallah, appropriately made. I've reviewed it. It's pretty good, mashallah. So let's start the presentation. You will have 15 to 20 minutes to present to me, and then followed by 30 to 45 minutes of Q&A, inshallah. Okay?
Inshallah.
So you can start now.
Should I share my screen, sir?
Absolutely, yes, you can.
Share. So it's shared, sir. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. There's a visibility issue, I think. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I am Khuram Murad, and I am student of Diploma in Artificial Intelligence Operations, EduQual RQF Level 6 from Nafi.
You can share the screen because I can't see your screen. I'm only seeing
So
you.
yeah, I have shared it. It's blinking. Your screen sharing. Is it visible now, sir?
No.
Should I share it again?
You should be able to do. I'm going to remove myself from the spotlight for now. Now it is only you. So you have to share your screen so that I can see it, because right now I can't.
Sir,
Anyone else can see the screen right now? Or is it just
sir,
me?
Again. Okay.
Faisal bhai, we could see the screen.
No, his sharing. Now I can see it, right? That's what I'm saying. The host spotlighted your video for everyone. Okay. All right. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Okay. So now, Jazakallah. So now you can start.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. My name is Khuram Murad, and I'm student of Diploma in Artificial Intelligence Operations, EduQual RQF Level 6 from Nafi. My subject is a secure, scalable, and compliant cloud infrastructure with Kubernetes, AI-driven operations, and cloud-native security. The contents of my presentation are listed here: the goal statement, architecture, DevOps, etc. My goal is to design secure, scalable, and compliant multi-cloud infrastructure, leveraging AWS, Azure, utilizing DevOps, SysOps, and AI-driven tools to gain operational efficiency, optimize resource management, and data protection. So this is the architecture diagram of my AWS, which is clearly indicating that Terraform is provisioned the resources on AWS, and in the bottom, so there is the idea that Argo CD is continuously watching over the Git repository to maintain the desired state. Similarly, this is for Azure infrastructure. Again, Terraform provision the resources on Azure, and Argo CD is continuously monitoring the Git repository and deploying the desired state. DevOps. Infrastructure as a code, and this is the slide which shows the DevOps practices. It ensures infrastructure is consistent, deployed, and applications are automatically tested and deployed. Infrastructure as a code. Infrastructure as a code automates cloud resources provisioning using provisioning using code, ensuring consistency and efficiency in deployment. The tools are the tools are Terraform. Terraform is a cloud agnostic tool which enables defining and deploying resources across multiple cloud resources, while the AWS CloudFormation is a cloud native specific tool for AWS. It benefits deployment, scalable deployment and version control. Continuous deployment means continuously automated deployments to the production after successful testing. It speeds up the releases and reduces human errors. The tools which are used are AWS Code Pipeline and Azure DevOps. It automates the end-to-end CI/CD process. Jenkins integrates testing, and Argo CD continuously synchronizes the deployment with Git repository. Benefits. Its benefit is that it provides a reliable, automated, and tested deployments. It causes quickly code changes, and it manages large-scale deployments and provides scalability. Platform engineering. Platform engineering is about building self-service platforms, empowering developers to deploy, test, and monitor applications. It is a practice in modern day platform engineering, while where platforms are self-service platforms are provision for developers. I will throw the detail light on this topic in next slide, inshallah. It provides standardization and consistent environments. Benefits are efficiency, because it provides faster deployment cycles and productivity. The developers work on their side without worrying about the underlying infrastructure. It provides control. Here I would like to mention AWS, which states that the proposed approach uses predefined blueprints, policies, and automations to ensure that every EKS cluster meets the organization need. It means that the predefined roles will provide the consistent and security and a secure configuration that is to be deployed by these concepts. Here is the high-level overview of a self-service platform. Basically, the platform engineers provide a platform and a dashboard which works in layers. The first layer is user interface layer, which provides web portal or CLI access to the developers. And then developers authenticate and authorize themselves to the most important layer, which is automation layer. In this layer, the tools like Terraform and Argo CD are used to deploy the Kubernetes control plan. Definitely, they come through the concept of managing clusters, managing nodes and workloads. When the control plan is deployed, it eventually controls the whole Kubernetes infrastructure. And the final and last step of this infrastructure is observability, because observing the underlying technology and what's going on in the infrastructure is very important. So Prometheus and Grafana are integrated with this architecture so that the developers can see what is going on. Next slide is SysOps. It is about artificial intelligence-driven observability and resource optimization. Artificial intelligence for IT operations is about utilizing AI tools for proactive monitoring, identifying potential issues, and optimizing resources before they impact the performance. Here, as during my research for this topic, I came to know about a very interesting tool, which is K8GPT. It is AI-infused Kubernetes tool which is basically used for troubleshooting Kubernetes clusters. And it is a sandbox project, which is by Cloud Native Computing Foundation since December 2023. Lots of work is going on this project, and definitely this will revolutionize how Kubernetes is handled and how clusters are managed.
Do you know what we have done? This is a very important topic that you have mentioned. The research.
Yes.
We want people to do research on the topics given by utilizing AI. We don't want people to use AI to create presentations. They can use AI to basically learn the topic, but at
Yes,
the
sir.
end of the day, they should put it together themselves so that they remember. This tool
Yes.
that you mentioned, K8 GPT, we have went multiple steps further. What we have done is in our own Kubernetes environment,
Yes, sir.
which we are going to open from January, February for our students, you
Yes.
will have the Linux containers, and you're running the lab, right? So you're performing and you're configuring and performing the clustering, the configuration items, and all of these things. And the AI, our AI Al-Bari, the project Bari AI, is reviewing the logs, the Kubernetes logs in real time. And it is going to give you the feedback if you are on the right path or the wrong path. So that goes multiple steps ahead of what this project is doing, right?
Sir,
So that's
similarly,
okay. And
yeah.
we are using Llama 3, the 407 billion model, but there are multiple GPTs because in today's world, this is what the organizations are doing. Organizations want the engineers to augment themselves,
Yes.
not copy and paste the data, but they augment themselves. So the humans are in control, but at the same
Yes.
time, the AI is providing them guidance. That's the
Yes.
key. Good that you mentioned that.
Thank you, sir. This tool, sorry. GPT also uses underlying large language models like OpenAI and Llama 3, Gemini,
Yeah.
and these type of tools. Moving forward, cloud native tool for this solution is AWS DevOps Guru, which detects anomalies and recommends solutions for AWS resources. Your Monitor, on the other hand, collects telemetry data and uses machine learning to optimize your resources. Its benefits are proactive detection and resource optimization throughout the cloud infrastructure. Hybrid and multi-cloud management means centralized management for multi-cloud resources, improving visibility and operational efficiency across AWS and Azure environments. The tools which are used are AWS System Manager, which monitors, manages, and automates AWS and on-premises resources, while on the other hand, Azure Arc is more extensive tool. I came to know that it extends Azure management capabilities to on-premises and multi-cloud environment, even AWS and GCP. It benefits our unified operation, simplifies monitoring and management across clouds, and compliance to the regulatory requirements. Automated incident response means responses are generated automatically using observability tools like Prometheus and Grafana. These tools then are integrated with artificial intelligence to gain insights. Eventually, the AI models are using machine learning, which detects the anomalies in the infrastructure and what's going on. The benefits of this practice is real-time observability, provides insights into the system performance, and it reduces downtime because the anomalies are resolved before even they impact the system. Next slide is about artificial intelligence, explainable AI and edge AI for security and operations. It demonstrates how AI tools like SIGMaker and Azure AI and Edge AI solution enhance our multi-cloud infrastructure. AI augmented DevOps. Sorry. It uses artificial intelligence to enhance cloud operations, means it automates the optimization and improves application performance in real time. Tools that are used are AWS SageMaker, which builds, trains, and deploys machine learning models for predictive insights. And Azure AI services provide artificial intelligence tools for anomaly detection and predictive maintenance and resource optimization. The benefit of these practices are improved performance and proactive issue detection, identifies issues before they impact the users. The other aspect of artificial intelligence is very important, which is explainable AI, which ensures AI models are transparent, which allows security teams to understand how models make decisions, especially for the threat detection. The principles which are used in explainable AI are transparency. These models are designed to be interpretable and showing why certain results were reached. Auditability. Explainable AI models are renewable and meet compliance standards, means auditors can look into the logs that are generated, how a specific decision is made. It benefits the infrastructure with enhanced trusts. It improves the confidence that AI-driven security actions are corrective, and it meets the regulatory compliance, means auditors are able to see what's going on underneath. Edge AI is another aspect of artificial intelligence, which deploys artificial intelligence models on local devices for immediate response and critical that are critical for real-time security tasks and in IoT environments. Internet of Things, I would like to mention. The tools which are used are AWS IoT Greengrass. It is a cloud native tool specifically for AWS, which runs AI models locally on IoT devices, and it reduces latency. Azure IoT Edge is, on the other hand, is Azure tool which enables AI processing on edge devices, essential for time-sensitive security decisions. The benefits of using these tools are real-time response, which provides instant insights and actions on the local devices and reduces cloud costs, which are very crucial nowadays. Another thing is cybersecurity in cloud, in multi-cloud infrastructure. The cybersecurity is all about how to protect, how protection is incorporated for robust cybersecurity practices. The first pillar of cybersecurity is zero trust architecture, which means a security model that assumes no user is or device is trusted by default. It enforces strict verification for all requests. Tools that are used are AWS Identity and Access Management and Cognito. These tools manages identity verification and secure sign-ins. On the other hand, in Azure Active Directory and Azure Security Center provides identity management and monitors security postures. The benefits of these tools are enhanced security. It limits access strictly to verified user only and reduces the risk, means it minimizes the exposure to unauthorized access. Artificial intelligence in cybersecurity utilizes artificial intelligence and machine learning to detect threats and unusual patterns that may indicate security risks. The tools that are used are AWS Guard Duty, which uses machine learning to detect anomalies across AWS environment, and the Azure tool is Azure Sentinel, which is basically a system information and event management tool that leverages artificial intelligence to identify and respond to the threats across Azure resources. It benefits with proactive threat detection and automated responses. Ransomware response. Ransom attacks are very common these days, which organizations are facing. The cybersecurity provides its solution by leveraging the tools like AWS Backup and Azure Backup. These tools, these tools generate immutable and tamper-proof backups of the resources that are crucial if the ransomware attack is initiated from somewhere. So these tools will securely back up the data, and that data can be backed up without paying ransom to the third party. GRC, compliance and risk management. This session highlights how our project incorporates governance, risk, and compliance tools to maintain security and meet regulatory requirements. Risk quantification management means accessing the risk levels of different cloud services and workloads to prioritize security efforts. AWS Risk Lens is conceptual is a concept which represents the approach how AWS tools like well-architected framework to evaluate and manage risks in AWS environments, and Azure Security Benchmark, which provides security best practices and compliance assessments for Azure. And these tools are results in informed decisions and improved security posture. Automated compliance means the monitoring ensures that resources comply with the regulatory requirements like GDPR and HIPAA. The tools which are used are AWS Config, which continuously tracks configuration compliance across AWS, and Azure Policy, which enforces compliance policies across Azure resources. It benefits with continuous monitoring and reduced manual efforts. Privacy and data regulations compliance means the sensitive data is protected through encryption and privacy controls are in place. It is a regulatory requirement, which is achieved by using AWS KMS, Key Management Service, which manages the encryption keys for AWS data, and Azure Vault manages encryption keys and secrets for Azure resources. It provides best data security and regulatory adherence because we use encryption and this type of technologies to save the data. Last but not least is the cloud security, which is about identity and access management and confidential computing. This slide emphasizes the importance of shared responsibilities, identity and access management improvements, and confidential computing. Shared responsibility model means security responsibilities are divided between cloud providers and the customers, or organizations. Responsibilities means cloud provider will look for the security of the infrastructure, and the customer is responsible for security of the data and application and the access within the cloud. It benefits with clear boundaries because it clarifies which areas requires customer focus and which area requires cloud provider focus. The security is improved because both the parties are bound to manage their side of resources. Identity and access management improvement strengthens the access controls and enforces secure login practices. We use AWS Identity and Access Management and Azure Active Directory, which manages fine-grained access controls and role-based access control. Multi-factor authentication adds an extra layer of security through multi-factor authentication. It means the enhanced access control is ensured and risk is reduced. Confidential compute, on the other hand, is about isolating sensitive workloads in secure encrypted environments to protect data during processing. AWS uses Nitro Enclave, which provides isolated compute environments within AWS, and Azure Confidential Compute provides data in use by securing workloads on Azure. Its benefits are it ensures that data remains secure even during processing, and regulatory and compliance is achieved because these tools make sure that sensitive data is not leaked anywhere during the process. So that's all from my side. Thank you.
So let me ask you something. How much AI did you use to create this presentation?
Sir, I use AI definitely. And then I use to look for the documentation of the specific tools and videos on YouTube. So everything is mixed in this presentation.
Okay. So my question is that, like, did you use like AI to create the whole presentation? Or did you put the stuff together, but you use AI to gather the information?
Sir, I used initially, but I was not impressed by its performance, and then I used to consult the documentation of the specific tools, like the AWS tools and Azure tools, and then I watched
So
videos.
I have marked you for the presentation score, right? And
Yes, sir.
there's a content mastery. So the criterion is content mastery, organization, presentation skills, use of visuals. There was no such visuals in per se in showing the presentation, right? I understand that the
Yes,
topic was pretty loaded, but you could
yes,
have presented it showing some more visuals. It was mostly textual based. But anyway, it's done. The marking is done from my side. So let's jump on to the Q&A session. Bismillah ar-Rahman
yes,
ar-Rahim.
sir. Yes, sir.
So the Q&A is going to be like going through different parts, right? So I'm going to ask you in total of 10 to 20 questions. If I ask you 10 questions, each question will be 2.5 marks. It
Yes,
depends on how much time I have, so on and so forth. So,
yes,
but essentially it is minimum, it is going to be 10 questions anyway, right?
yes,
So the first question I have is like, what is share responsibility model? You mentioned that. What is share responsibility model? Like, for example,
yes,
your presentation highlights the share responsibility model for cloud security.
yes.
Can you explain how this model applies to Kubernetes cluster in a multi-cloud environment and how responsibilities shift when using Kubernetes in AWS versus Kubernetes in Azure? You know, the containers are moving from here to there.
Yes, sir.
What does share responsibility means like? So you have to
So,
answer me the question in provider's role, AWS and Azure, customer role, and then
yes.
the shift. You know, how does the shift happens? So first of all, what is the provider's role?
The provider is responsible for security of their specific infrastructure, like your their data center, and AWS will look after their data center and their the hardware which is
That's a physical
hosting.
security. What about other things?
Definitely, they will use other. They will take other measures to secure the premises of the infrastructure of the.
But that's just physical security. Are they also responsible for the logical security of the hardware, the servers?
No, the logical and the software security is the responsibility of the customer or the organization. Logical security, I am taking it as the resources which are deployed on AWS or Azure by an organization.
So if if you use EKS service from AWS, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Who is responsible for securing the EKS?
The organization which is deploying
Are you
EKS,
sure?
because it's a logical thing.
I'm talking about the
We
cluster. Who is responsible for securing the cluster?
The EKS is a managed service by
Yes,
AWS. Definitely, they will look after for their
that's what I
part.
wanted to hear. Essentially, it is a responsibility of the provider. They are
Provider.
responsible. You have to
Yes,
secure your own containers,
yes, sir.
right? But
Definitely
the EKS and all those things, they are by default our responsibility for
responsible.
the
Definitely,
AWS.
these are
All
managed
right,
service.
so the provider role is covered. The customer role, what is the customer responsible for?
Customer will look after for after the containers which are being maintained, and the role-based access control. It will be responsible for managing the steps and take the steps which are according to regulatory requirement, that the data should be encrypted and the sensitive data should not leak, and I
So
mean,
the organization manages the worker nodes, container
yes,
security,
sir. Yes, sir.
IAM roles. That's what I want to hear. Like your answer is,
Yes, sir.
you have to be much more eloquent because that's the kind of interview the customers will be asking you for, right?
Yes,
So if you want to
yes,
apply as the EKS engineer, you need to be
inshallah.
perfectly fully prepared, right? The shift, how does the shift happens? When the shift happens, who's responsible for what?
Sorry, please elaborate. What do you mean by shift, sir? The shift.
So manage, who's responsible for the control plane?
A control plane is definitely managed by the cloud provider because
Yes.
it is a managed service.
So EKS is responsibility of AWS. Azure AKS is responsibility for Azure. And they are
Azure.
both responsible for managing the control plane. Okay.
Yes,
All right.
definitely.
So, okay, that's good. That's a good answer. Okay. Full marks for that.
Thank you.
So I'm going to throw in some tough, some slow, stuff like that, right? So
Yes, sir.
how do you use explainable AI, as we call it XAI, right? This is the new phenomena. It's coming up.
Yes, sir.
Organizations are looking into it. They're applying that methodology to ensure regulatory compliance for automated decisions in threat detection system. By the way, in our Al Razak, we have covered AI from the academic aspects in the course, but and from the regulatory and from some work aspects as well. But in Al Razak labs, all of these things are covered where you have to deploy, configure, manage all of these things so that you're better prepared to go for the interviews, right?
I'm very excited about Al-Razak Lab, sir, by the
Yeah,
way.
so you have to start doing it. So we are making things much more easier and easier. So you will find there is the Bari bot. The Bari, is part of the Al-Bari project. Al-Bari is one of the names of Allah, the evolver, the maker. So the Bari AI is consuming the logs of your container,
Yes, sir.
give you the insights how you're doing, right? And one of the things we're doing now, and like the capacity is to serve 10 million containers in a given day. That's it.
MashaAllah.
That's a lot.
Yes, sir.
We can't go above and beyond that right now, but we will be able to do so. But that's the capacity. But that's a lot of logs that it is consuming. So behind the scene, things are getting bigger and bigger. So you have to tell me, how do you use explainable AI to ensure regulatory compliance for automated decisions in threat detection system? How would you do
Sir,
that?
the automated decisions and threat detection systems using AI and explainable AI means that the 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 things are watchable and auditable by the auditors and the stakeholders, I would like to say, because
So tell me, in the context of AWS, what would you
yes,
use for AWS and Azure for this
suppose
explainable AI purposes? What would you use? There's a service that they have.
explainable AI means that how a specific decision was made. Suppose a pod is restarted, why it was restarted. Explainable AI will definitely
How would it
generate
know what
logs.
decisions it needs to make?
Sorry,
How would it know what decisions it needs to make? For the
using
very
machine
best
learning
accuracy, accountability.
with predictive analysis and
Yes,
machine learning.
yes. So it will
Yes,
use AWS SageMaker to build up interpretable
yes,
models. It will use
models,
Azure ML for
definitely.
basically in for transparency purposes, it is able to interpret the models, and then they both need to work together. And
Yes.
the consumption for these things is basically the audit logs. The audit logs of the systems help AI
As
to make a
as you
decision.
mentioned, sir, yeah, as you mentioned that Albari is generating logs which are
Albari
auditable
is
and
only consuming logs. The containers are generating logs. So all the logs
yes,
go to a container, huge, massive S3 bucket,
yes,
and
sir.
then Albari knows Khuram, for example, your name is Khuram Murad, right? So Khuram Murad came in and he opened this container. He was doing these labs. He did
Yes,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Each container is good for doing 10 labs, right?
mm,
Then Abdul Rahman came in and he did his labs. But once the container goes away, the logs are the same, but the
still
containers
there.
are not persistent. They don't have persistent storage, right? So they have
Yes,
temporary storage. So when you're done with the lab, 3 hours time is up, the container goes away. When the container goes away, the lab is, we have collected the
still
logs.
there.
So then it will start analyzing. Khuram Murad did this, he was stuck here. Abdul Rahman did this, he was stuck here. Uh, Abu Bakr came and he just did all the labs pretty smoothly, right? So it is analyzing your decision making, your things, and that is how we have started. Right now, because of January 2025, everything will change. The policy will change, right? So 50% of the marks will go towards the labs.
Yes.
We want you to give you higher grades. So the labs will be 50%. The MCQ 25, interview presentation 25, right? So if you do the lab perfectly well, execute all the commands properly, and the AI verifies it, you get the full marks. Because we want you to learn, right? And the AI is going to ask you questions. The employer is going to ask you this. The answer is this. Memorize this, please. So there's a lot of things coming up. That's the next generation stuff. So the explainable AI can, if it doesn't have any logs, it can't meet compliance under understand, right? So how do you validate the model for fairness in the explainable AI?
So the machine learning models are validated through historical facts. It validates itself with the patterns which are already there, and it
Based
validates
on
its.
the audit logs for accuracy and all those kind of things, okay?
Yes.
All right, that's good. What is confidential computing?
So it's about processing the data which is very sensitive, like I have mentioned in my presentation, GDPR or HIPAA. They consider personal identifiable information and protected health information.
The
It should be.
confidential computing is applicable on what? 3 kinds of data sets, right?
Yeah.
Actually, 4, you can say 4, but the 3 attributes. So what are the 3 attributes? The data is either
Data, we classify the databases on its importance.
no,
So definitely.
that is the thing, yes, but data is either at
Rest or transit. Yes.
Or
Transit.
in transit, in motion, or
Yes. Or processing.
in use. Yes. So at rest, in transit, in use. And then there is a last thing. I don't know the sign language for that, right? So what is the last point?
Data is archived, which is not in use.
No, you lost 1/4 of the mark. Relevance.
Okay.
Relevance, like, right? So what is the relevance of the data? Protect against, so that we understand that this data needs to be protected against insider threats, side channel threats, all those kind of things, untrusted environments. Okay. GRC quantification. How would you theoretically apply risk quantification models, right? Like AWS Risk Lens, they have it.
Yes.
Kubernetes-based multi-cloud environment, right? How would you do that? Like, how would you apply that model? How can you do that?
So the risks are professionally. The risks are deal as low level risk, high level risk, and it depends upon the risk appetite of the organization, what is considered as risk, and the application of the specific tool definitely is according to the company policy, what is important, what is not important.
Essentially, it is like the risk is quantified on factors like impact, severity, probability, business priorities, risk appetite, all of these kind of things, right? So you missed some of the things. Okay, I'm going to move forward because we're running out of time. For the incident management, right? For the incident management, how would you use AI ops for incident management and resource optimization?
Machine learning models were use the machine learning models will definitely check the historical data to optimize the resources And the aspect of incident management is about collecting the data and analyzing the data, and then informing the teams or the personnel who is responsible what action is to be taken basis on the analysis which machine learning or AI will make.
Okay, compliance automation. In the presentation you showed, tools like AWS config and Azure policy are mentioned for compliance monitoring, right? You mentioned that.
Yes.
What challenges arises in automating compliance across dynamic Kubernetes cluster? What are the challenges and what are the solutions?
Compliance, definitely regulatory compliance is important, and the challenges which are faced, I would like to say that regulatory compliance, that there is no awareness and technical awareness in that because there is no technical awareness, and people
Go
do
back,
not.
when you're done with the interview, go back and try to search for the answer. It's real, I'm asking you compliance management in the context of, managing the cluster, right? Of the, like,
Okay.
how can you use AWS config and AWS
So, in context of
or
cluster
the
management,
Kubernetes cluster?
compliance management is about
What are the challenges? What challenges can we see? What are the challenges?
What challenges?
Then what are the solutions? Okay, right. Let's move on. The challenges are real-time tracking, dynamic policies may be different across different multi-cloud environment, right? So it's different
Yes.
multi-cloud environment. Difficulty in mapping compliance controls to Kubernetes manifests, right? There's so many things. The solutions are implementing infrastructure as a code. Use OPA. I've been emphasizing on OPA a lot. We're going through, because we are implementing this thing, we are seeing this. There are job descriptions in the market which are asking for engineers who knows OPA. Open policy agent for dynamic enforcement, right? That's how organizations are doing it. Integrate compliance checks into CI/CD pipelines. All right, okay. Zero trust architecture.
Nobody is trusted by default.
Zero trust means it assumes never trust, always verify.
Always
Right?
verify.
So in my company, I have a policy, trust. I trust my employees, but I need to verify, right?
Yes.
So, but like in the IT world, they say, no, never trust anyone. Never trust any system. It's in the context of systems. Always verify. So theoretically, what are the limitations of implementing zero trust model in cloud native Kubernetes environment?
The limitations are it checks and verifies every aspect and every personal and every access which is being granted to the infrastructure through
What are the
role-based access
limitations?
control.
What limitations are there?
Limitations.
Yeah.
Limitations of zero trust model.
No. Okay. So let's move forward. I slept at, on daily, there's so much work. I slept at 11
Okay, sir.
p.m. and I woke up at 4.
Thank you, sir.
Very tired. And after this, I have another meeting, but before the meeting, I have 30 minutes to do my workout. I'm burned out right now. But I need to push myself. That's the only way. And I haven't had any breakfast since morning. The only thing I had is like 3 ajwa dates, and a second cup of coffee.
You are inspiration for lots of us.
Sorry, what?
Follow. Sir, I do job, government job.
Oh, mashallah. Okay.
Yeah. Sir, I told you, I talked to you in 2022 that, sir, I'm 40 and can I continue my study? And you said, yeah, age is just a number and you can carry on.
Yeah. So we will talk about that, inshallah. You're only 3 questions left. Okay. All right. So the topic is difficult. Let me tell you, the topic is difficult, right? So you have to be fully prepared.
Yes.
It's not going to be easy, but I think You have reached the passing threshold right now. AI augmented DevOps, you mentioned that, right? And remember, all of these things that you have, if you do the labs of these things, you'll be able to, move in the industry very fast with lightning speed because organizations are looking for people like this, right? So AI augmented DevOps, we are working on it ourselves. It differs from the traditional DevOps practices. We are using Code Guru, we are using multiple things, many, many things, right? So, what are the ethical considerations in adopting AI to optimize infrastructure? So, what ethical considerations should we take into account when we do this?
AI should be used within ethical
Talk to
boundaries.
me in the context of AI bias.
AI can produce false positive results sometime, which leads to a negative impact on infrastructure, definitely. And we used to see that not a model is 100% efficient in producing results. So sometimes it can predict or lead to a wrong result, I would say.
So, there's biasness in AI model predictions. What else?
Yes. There's biasness, and in context of it's very narrow.
There's another thing. I mean, how is AI operating behind the scene? How is it making decisions? Do you know?
It's making decisions on the basis of data that is provided to the models.
So, what do you call when the politicians are hiding and they're not showing you everything? What do you call that? There's a word for that.
Hypocrisy and
So they are hiding something, and people are saying, "You need to show us everything that you're doing." And they say, "No, no, no, trust me, trust me. What I'm doing is okay."
confidentiality. They
Transparency.
keep transparency. Okay.
So
Yeah,
transparency
they
is the
hide
most
their
important thing,
balance.
right? Right. So yeah, I mean transparency, right? So
Yes.
you have to be transparent with everyone. You have to be honest. And transparency of automated decisions. This is one of the things, that exists in AI. There is another ethical consideration, which is very important. What is that? Over
Transparency is
reliance on AI, right? Could impact.
people are getting used to AI models and using too much AI, and it is
I mean, if
affecting.
you keep on using AI, you can't blame anyone. No one will be accountable except AI. What are you going to do with AI? Punish it? Sack it? Fire it? No, you can't do that, right? These are the things that are being discussed in the academia circles nowadays, right? The solution is that every organization is different and they will take these things differently, right? But
So there is
ultimately,
no standardized rule for.
so far there isn't any. In many things we have those things, but we don't have that right now as we speak. Okay. All right. So let's throw in some more questions. So you mentioned your edge devices. I'm going to give you a scenario. So your edge devices are running AI models,
Yes, sir.
which experiences latency issues.
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, they had that problem, right? What strategies would you use to optimize edge AI processing?
So I will demonstrate it with an example that suppose uh, the edge devices, a security camera is capturing live feeds and storing that data locally. So the edge AI means that the decisions are made locally without sending that large amount of data back to the cloud for processing. The only selective data will be sent back for analyzing, which raises the alarm that there's something should be processed beneath. But the most of the data is stored locally on edge devices, and specifically, it's very useful for traffic rules violation and autonomous cars and I would say Pakistan is an agriculture country, so advanced agriculture means using sensors and cameras to.
So
Uh,
you will use enable local processing.
yes, sir.
use cache and pre-process the data.
So
We
that the large
deploy
amount of data.
lighter AI models. For some of the things we are using 7 billion models. Some of the jobs we are using 70 billion models. For some of the jobs we are using 400 billion models. For some of the jobs we're using a trillion model, which is OpenAI, right? So it depends on the how you can reduce the latency.
Yeah.
And it is a big challenge. It is a big challenge. So when you go into these things, that's where you see a lot of potential, right? Last question I have for you.
Yes.
So in a CI/CD pipeline, right, we're using Argo
Yes.
CD, and an AWS code pipeline. Now in the
Yes.
Al-Razak, you will find Argo CD and AWS code pipeline
Inshallah.
labs as well. By March, you will start experiencing all the services
Yes.
of AWS that we will provide it
Yes.
to you in a controlled
Yes.
manner, that you can design the solution, call the API, but only a certain request. After that, the API just doesn't allow you, right? But you will be able to see. So how do you handle failed deployments caused by image version mismatches?
Argo CD continuously continuously monitors the Git repository, and it makes sure that, and it takes the Git repository as a single source of truth. So it makes it possible that the desired state of infrastructures is already up or is already achieved. And if the failed image, please mention your question again, sir. A failed image or an
Yeah, how would you use failed deployments?
it will
Caused by image
definitely.
versioning. I mean, this is a common problem we are
Failed
experiencing.
image will be and the Argo CD will goes back to the while it will synchronize the Git repository. It will make sure that the desired state is maintained. The failed image will definitely will be discarded because it's everything is version controlled, and the infrastructure will be in a desired state according to the code, the manifests in the Git repository. Argo CD basically continuously matches with Git repository and the deployed infrastructure.
Okay.
It will roll back to the good state, and I would like to say.
We're done with basically with the exam. I'm just calculating your test scores right now.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir.
You would like to know the score?
Inshallah, sir. Definitely.
Okay. So you scored you passed the exam by scoring 67.5%. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So that's great job, mashallah. The topic was tough, you know. The topics are getting tougher and tougher as we move forward.
Yes.
I'm happy that you were able to pass the exam. Now tell me, what are you doing? The process is going to be, they are going to compile your MCQ results.
Yes, sir.
It goes through a very robust process of checking if any of the users are doing any kind of cheating or anything like that, right?
Uh,
So,
I, mm, I heard about it. You one
yes,
time to time
yes.
mentioned about the
We
bots
did
and
strike off a
yes,
handful of people now who did something malicious. They were given an opportunity,
yes, sir.
take your time, just come back to us. Those who did,
Yes,
they're giving an opportunity to go back. Nothing goes on your record. Those who don't,
yes, sir.
then they are now being expelled because, I mean, we are giving them like a whistleblower protection right now, kind of, to be
Yes, sir.
transparent with us. If you did a mistake, it's okay. Accept it and you get a second chance. But if
Yes, sir.
you don't accept it, then that's a big problem. And so anyway, so everyone is going through that process, whether they did it or not, it needs to be verified. That is why we are
Yes, sir.
changing, the stuff. So tell
Yes.
me, Khuram, Murad, first of all, congratulations, you passed the exam.
Jazakallah, sir.
What are you doing?
First of all, I would say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. It's definitely with the help of Almighty. Sir, I do job, a government job from last 16 years. I'm 40 and you really pushed me up when I talked to you back in 2022. And it helped me a lot and going through lots of goosebumps and ups and downs, and I kept on moving. And I always follow your principles, specifically the principle that if someone do wrong things or wrongdoings, the help of Allah Almighty will not be with them. So
Well,
I
that is
always
the prince. Don't follow me. The principle needs to be followed by Sunnah, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
definitely.
I
I
need
always
to
prefer
follow your.
Quran. I always prefer Quran and Sunnah always.
Yes, I mean,
As a mentor,
there's
I
no
follow
such,
you, sir.
there's no such person as Muhammad Faisal, but there's only one person which his name is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? We follow him
Definitely. That's
and his
above all.
companion. And he said to us, like, follow any of my companions, like they are like the stars, right? Especially the four
Yes,
Khulafa Rashidin. Starting from
definitely.
Abu Bakr and Omar, these are the best, so we should follow
Yes,
them. And
yes,
Uthman and Ali and all the other companions as well.
yes.
What is your plan now after completing this thing? What do you intend to do?
Sir, I'm excited about Al Razak Labs. I will do all of them, inshallah, with the help of Almighty. And I will definitely consult you and contact you. I want to move abroad with my family and possibly in Middle East and possibly in Europe or America. God knows.
Inshallah. Okay. Inshallah. May Allah
Inshallah.
make it easy for you. May Allah give you success.
Amen. Amen.
Again, congratulations in terms of passing the exam.
Jazakallah.
Exams are getting tougher. The interview is getting tougher, but we are introducing the lab portion where everyone needs to perform their own labs, right?
Sure.
This is very important because we will be checking and testing them out, right? So on and so forth. We want people to
Yes.
learn and expand their horizon rather than, just using AI. Everyone needs to learn how to use AI, but they should not completely be dependent on AI. They
That's
should
the point.
understand AI as much as they can,
Yes.
in their learning process. Again,
Yes, sir.
I wish you the best. The best thing I would recommend you is to, uh, what is your base qualification prior to completing this diploma in AI ops?
Sir, I have gone to very different paths. Basically, I did intermediate in computer science and I got a job as a data entry operator back in 2007. Then I got promoted and uh, during my education, I felt that there is no professional development in government sector. So I keep on pushing myself to learn something until I found you and Al Nafi. And Alhamdulillah, I
So you
made it
have a lot
through,
of
even though.
experience working in the IT sector, in the government sector, in the
No,
government
no,
sector.
it's it's a office job, sir. There's no professional development, and I was for IT, hired for IT, but there's no IT job. I mean, it's very complex type of environment here in Pakistan where we work. But
Well,
Alhamdulillah,
I wouldn't be surprised and I wouldn't hold my breath like what I'm hearing from everyone. But anyway, okay, that's good. So my recommendation to you is like you're already out of the mature student route rate, right? Age right now.
yes,
Are you married?
Yes, I'm married. I have two kids, Alhamdulillah.
Okay, how old are they?
Alhamdulillah. The elder one is 6 years, and the younger one is 3.5 years old.
So this is what you can do. You have two paths of going outside. One path is before, like, and target this to do this in September of next year, since you are of a
Inshallah.
mature age and you
Yes.
did your AI ops completed
Yes.
now,
Yes.
but you also have done your intermediate, right?
Yes.
Because of the
Sir,
age.
I have master's degree in international relations before joining
Okay,
Nafi.
okay. So, well, that's not going to help you anyway. There are no relations in international
Yes.
relations,
Yes, sir.
right? So this is my
I
recommendation
recommend.
for you.
Yes, sir.
You can apply to go to the US.
Yes.
That's one path for you.
Yes.
Based on your experience and everything, you should be able to apply for EB visa. But before you do that, go on a master's route. Do your master's in US, right? Possibly try to go to a blue state like New York or Chicago, any of these places. They're nice. Tremendous opportunities for you. There is another student of ours who's a student, then he secured a job. He's now a teacher at our side as well. He's also applying to find good universities in US. So that's, something you can do. If you all go together, then that's a good possibility for you to, be together and be able to,
Inshallah.
bounce each other like whatever needs to be done, right? So you need to have an ecosystem there.
Yes.
So that's one thing you can do. Uh, the AI Ops is going to allow you to take admission in any of the master's degree program. Obviously, if you would have applied for a master's degree in STEM by doing Masters of International Relation, you wouldn't get any admission.
Yes,
But
sir.
because
Yes.
of this, now you can take admission, right?
Inshallah.
So this will allow you to take admission and we can
Sir, I
assist
think
you.
the possibilities to move to Middle East are more practicable.
Middle East is
apart
there
from-
as well, but Middle East is like it's a temporary stop,
Inshallah, it will be temporary,
temporary
as you
stop,
already.
right? So that's one place. But like if you can get an opportunity, then why not just go there immediately? That is the
Okay.
thing that you have to decide and evaluate, right? You go to Middle East, you work for 2, 3 years because you are 40 years of age, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The time is there. But if you go to Middle East, it will take you 1, 2 years more. You will lose
Okay.
time.
So I should directly apply for
My
states.
recommendation would be yes, but apply next year in September session. But prior to that, complete the whole Al Razak program, complete all the
Inshallah.
qualifications, get some of the external qualifications done. You'll be able to find a remote job within no time.
Inshallah.
And then, inshallah, when you go there, you're fully prepared, and then you'll be able to apply for EB visa. Rather than looking, because once you complete your master's program, $14,000-15,000, right? You will be able to get 3 years of work permit.
Okay.
America is already planning to get rid of more than 11 million migrants who are illegal. They don't have any qualification. Almost 50% of them are Mexican, right? So I was reading this news today, like it's a huge number that the US is going through right now, right? But they need skilled migration. So they're creating new pathways for skilled migration. So US is there. You can bring your own family, parents, everyone, right? The UK part is you can bring your immediate family, your wife and kids, not your parents. You'll be able to bring them on a visit visa until they open all of those things, right? So
Okay.
the best route for anyone who is educated or wants to be educated is immigration through education.
Education, as you already mentioned.
Right. So
Many
yes,
of your
that is how you can move around in the world quite easily. And this is the easiest pathway for you to get through because you covered everything and now you have an opportunity to go further and be successful, right? But you need to,
Inshallah.
before you go, complete Al Razak because if you complete Al Razak, all of these things are covered in AI Ops. AI Ops labs are pretty advanced.
Okay.
It will make you a person, an engineer, that no matter what the industries are, and there are different industries, and there are more than 4 million labs. You don't have to do 4 million. You only have to do 1,000 tasks, right? That's
Okay.
it. And you're ready. But yes, if you want to keep on learning and keep on doing, it's a big place where you can just go in and keep on learning, keep on expanding, right? So on and so forth. So the goal is to prepare you for the future so that whatever comes towards you, you're fully prepared, right?
Inshallah.
You have a lot of time, mashallah. You can go and you can land there, inshallah. You will be successful. Don't worry.
Need your prayers, sir.
Okay, inshallah, every time. I mean, I remember all of my students. May Allah give them success, inshallah. Okay.
I would.
They are wherever they are from. I always make du'as for them. Inshallah. Okay.
Inshallah. Sir, I would like to say thanks to you for providing such a wonderful platform for me, especially a person over 40, which was
You're a young guy. What are you talking about? So if you tell, like, EduQual is going to review this this interview, and the guy who's reviewing, he's a pretty old guy, and he thinks he's young, and he is young. You become old when you hang up your gloves and say, I'm done. But, you still have 25 to 30 years of fighting in your tank.
Inshallah.
And, that fuel is there. So keep on prospering, inshallah. Keep on working hard. You will be successful. Okay?
Inshallah.
Okay, jazakallah khair, inshallah. I will see you next time.